I don't know if you guys have been following Nikola Motors, but the way I see it, it's a fraudulent company that for some reason gets to still exist. So, one of the things about this company, though, is there's a certain event coming up, and once that event passes, it could set up for the stock to tank in December. And it is something very important to know whether you are a shareholder right now, or you're thinking of buying, or you're thinking about selling, or in my case, you're thinking about buying puts. I normally do not buy puts, but this is just an enticing opportunity that is worth a closer look. So before we get into this major event that is happening, let's just talk a little bit about the company for some people who may not know. There was a major short seller report that pretty much accused the company of fraud. And of course, the company said, Nikola Motors, no, like this is false. But they did admit to a few things, and there have been some key events that have taken place. One of them is that they have a video of one of their trucks moving, but in reality, they just put that truck rolling down a hill and recorded that and said, oh, look, we have a moving truck. The other thing is that their founder resigned as the short seller report gained a lot more steam. And he's done some shady stuff in the past that pretty much involves over promising and leaving investors not too happy that they invested in him. So Nikola Motors, this isn't his first rodeo show, and he does have some sexual abuse allegations against him. So there's definitely a lot of murkiness in the water, but despite this, you hear of some analysts saying, well, the stock can still go higher. You hear the management saying, we're going to correct the course. We are going to, the founder left, but we are a new company now, even though the founder is supposed to be that visionary that guides the company from start to finish. So why is there all this talk about a potential turnaround? Well, one of the things is that they could still have the talks go with GM, and they have everything roll smoothly with those talks, assuming that there is some type of agreement. Although they're going to get less than what they initially asked for because there is extra leverage against them since of the fraudulent cases that have popped up. And you also have like the thing with this company also is that it's just like you have like maybe some things going for it, but at the end of the day, like they don't have revenue coming in. The only revenue from their income report was the founder buying solar panels from his own company. Like that was the only source of revenue they had, a self-purchase, which is not good if you're a publicly traded company. Like if you have a lemonade stand and like, okay, maybe you bought your own lemonade because no one else bought it, but this is something completely different. So this major event that I'm talking about is on November 30th, the lockup for all of the shares that some of the early investors got into, the ones who in plenty of cases are saying, we're going to correct course. That's when the lockup expires. So a lot of these people who got in early, companies, individuals who are in the organization, this is when November 30th, they are then able to sell their shares. So they are going to do everything in their power to prop up the stock price leading up to that moment. So it's definitely a race against time. They got to stretch the clock a little bit, have investors feel a little bit more confident in the company. And then in December, there could be a massive sell-off or soon after because now all of these people who have been in it for a long time are now able to sell their shares. Now, it's not always bad when the lockup expires and you have people selling because some people sell for pretty good reasons. If you buy into a company pretty early, that company becomes a big chunk of your portfolio. And unless you're Ryan Cohen, who I talked about in one of my Medium articles, $3 billion portfolio in just 2 stocks, which I would never do, but some people do it. If you're one of these insiders or people who gets in early, you've got a big amount of your portfolio in one position. Maybe you want to diversify a little bit, or maybe since so much of your money is locked into this company, you want to sell some shares to buy a house or to buy something of that nature because you have that type of money if you got into a lot of these publicly traded companies at a very early time. So it's not always bad. But if you combine that with all the news that is swirling around about this company, and it's just deadlines getting pushed away. It's fake videos of trucks that are supposed to be moving, but you just put them down a rolling hill, and like anyone can do that. You just get a bunch of wheels and have the thing go down the hill and record it. Like that's not too hard to do. One of the reasons that so many people are rushing into this company is because they see the Elon Musk and Tesla comparison. They say, I missed out on Tesla. I want to get into a next EV play. And there are a lot of SPACs. There are a lot of companies of that nature where people just want to rush in because they want the next Tesla growth story. But one of the things you have to remember about Elon Musk is that, sure, he may tweet some stuff, and some people really love his Twitter feed. Some people really don't. Elon Musk says these really crazy goals sometimes. And while he does say some goals that seem really crazy, and it's like, how is he ever going to do this? You have to look at what he's already done. He's got Teslas on the road, the autopilots. Not like, you have some cases where it's just unfortunate and, you know, it's not too many, but you know, if you are that one person, it means a lot to you. Or if you know that one person who like the autopilot doesn't work for, but you do have people who are using the Tesla autopilot and it is working. And this is something that no one really could have fathomed 10 years ago. Like, okay, like you get the idea, like you imagine an autopilot car and you know what that looks like, but it's completely different to actually be in a time where that is actually an option for people. While if you look at some of these other companies, it's just speculation. It's just, you know, in 2 years, in 3 years, we might start making revenue for our company. So that is my big concern with Nikola Motors. I mean, there's a lot of concern already. There's a lot of fundamental questions about how much is this company going to do, if anything at all. And you look at the founder's history, and this isn't his first rodeo of over-promising on a company only for it to fall flat. So you do have to keep all these things in mind if you are going to invest in this company, if you are going to short this stock. But there are a lot of people shorting the stock right now, so interest rates are super high. And, you know, EV hype. Who knows if this stock goes up a little bit more just because you have this promise, but not necessarily a tangible result. So that is why I'm very actively looking at this company. I see it as an opportunity to buy some puts, not crazy. Like again, with any, even if like the opportunity is there right in front of your face, especially when it comes to calls and puts, you could be right about what happens in the end, but if you get the timing wrong, it's the same thing as being wrong. So it's definitely something to pay attention to, and there's going to be a lot of movement in that stock. Like usually this is a concern, like lockups expiring anyway, because people just naturally sell during this time. So I think it's going to be a lot extra. So you could see a December tumble for this company. And if you combine that with a negative economic outlook, even if it is something super short term, such as controversy with the election or a variety of other factors that can happen. If you combine what's going on with this company as it is, and you look at something bad happening in December to the economy, or just a general correction to the run-up we've been having, although we did have a correction recently, it really does spell disaster for this company. So I thought I'd just share this video. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this company. Are you an investor? Are you shorting? Are you buying calls and puts? What are you doing with this company? Love to hear from you guys in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time.